Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. This is John Briggs, and today I want to talk to you about something that I think we've all experienced, at a certain time in our lives. That's the feeling of overwhelm, anxiety, or emotional turmoil that kind of grips us in difficult times. But what if I told you that panic doesn't have to control us? What if instead we could turn it into a tool for emotional freedom? Now, I've created a simple framework using the acronym P.A.N.I.C, as in how not to help us move from fear and overwhelm to clarity and control. The goal is to not panic, right? But to pause, acknowledge, navigate, identify, and choose how we respond to life's challenges. Let's break it down, okay? P, pause and breathe. The first instinct in a moment of panic is to react, right? But what if we did the opposite? Instead of reacting, we pause, take a deep breath, right? Because science tells us that breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, calming our body and mind. Try this with me. Take a deep breath through your nose and exhale slowly. Now, just by doing that, we create space between our emotions and our response. Example, imagine you're about to give a big presentation and your heart starts racing, right? Instead of spiraling into fear, you pause and breathe and reset. That's the first step to emotional freedom. The A, acknowledge and accept. Once we pause, the next step is is acknowledging what we feel without judgment. Often we resist emotions like fear, stress, or sadness, but resisting only makes them stronger. Instead, name the emotion. I feel anxious. I feel overwhelmed. Because when we name it, we what? Tame it. Then accept the emotions are natural. They don't define us, and they don't last forever. Do they? Here's an example. If you're feeling nervous, say before a tough conversation, instead of denying it, say, yes, I feel nervous, but that's okay. It's just my brain trying to protect me. Now the N, navigate your thoughts. Once we acknowledge our emotions, I think it's imperative that we navigate our thoughts, because panic often comes from irrational fears. Ask yourself, is this thought real? Is it even true? Is this based on facts or assumptions? What's the worst thing that could happen, and how likely is that to happen? By questioning our thoughts, we take away their power. Here's an example. Imagine you text a friend and they don't reply. Your mind automatically jumps to, oh, they must be mad at me. But by navigating your thoughts, you realize they're probably just busy. You shift from panic to perspective. I identify with intention. Now we identify what's really triggering us. Is it fear of failure? Fear of rejection? Because once we know the source, we set an intention for how we want to respond. Instead of reacting emotionally, you could ask yourself, how do I want to feel in this moment right now? What's the best response for my well-being? Example, if you're stressed about an upcoming deadline, instead of spiraling, you can identify the root cause of the fear of not doing well, or set an intention. I will focus on progress, not perfection. The C, choose and change. Finally, the most powerful step, choice. We can't always control what happens, but we can choose how we're going to respond, can't we? Choose to shift your perspective. Choose to take a positive action. Choose to let go of what's not serving you. By making small choices, we break free from panic and take control of our emotional state. Here's an example. If someone criticizes you, instead of reacting defensively, choose to see it as an opportunity for growth. Okay? So the next time that you feel panic starting to creep in, remember, just pause and breathe. Take a step back, acknowledge and accept. Navigate your thoughts. Identify with intention and choose and change. Okay, because panic is not the enemy. It's a signal, a moment to apply this framework and step into emotional freedom. So I leave you with this question. How will you choose to respond the next time life challenges you? I appreciate you if you lasted this long and that you saw value in this. I would encourage you to go to luminousconnections.com, get on my calendar, and schedule a 60-minute strategy session with me personally. We can talk about anything you like. Thank you. I appreciate it.